Hello friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall talk about a topic that when to use Apex programming language in Salesforce. Friend, today's topic is very interesting. Friend, we all knows that there are so many tools are available. Like for example, workflows are available, process flows are there. So many tools are available through which you can do the customization in Salesforce. Here is the question that when are the scenarios in which we can use the Apex programming. First of all, the positive scenario or the real scenario is that, for example, the business logic which you want to implement is very complex. For example, let me give you an example that when an opportunity is closed one, create five new related asset records, each with specific attributes calculated based on the opportunity line items, and then send a customized PDF code to a third party system. So that means, friend, if the logic which you want to implement in Salesforce, it is very complex and you know that it is not possible through workflows, so you can use the Apex programming. Second scenario, that means you want to control the transactions, like the DML operations. For example, you need to update an account and all its related contacts, but if any of the contact update fail, the entire transaction must be rolled back. So that means you want to control the transaction control. The third scenario is the web service caller, like you want to implement the web services, or you want to implement any integration between two systems. So in that case, you can also use the Apex programming. Also, you have to create custom REST or SOAP web services. This is also another scenario in which you can use the Apex programming. The another scenario is there is a scenario, for example, you want data manipulation occurring, like you have to use the SOQL or SSL limits. Like you have to query a data that when you need to perform complex queries that hit governor limits. So in that scenario, you need to use techniques like dynamic SOQL or complex looping logic to stay within limits. A mass data processing utility that needs to update millions of records in batches. So this is another scenario in which you can use the Apex programming. Another scenario is that you have to send the email services. Like you have to create an email address that can process inbound emails and perform actions based on their content. For example, ABC email address receives an email, parses it, and automatically creates or update a case in a Salesforce. This is another scenario. You have to create complex UI user interface using, for example, Visual Force, which is a old version, or a Lightning Web Component. So you can use the Apex programming. uh, you have to use a complex security and sharing model. So in that case, you can use Apex. uh, Another is triggering logic or asynchronous events, like using platform events to create complex depend decoupled process. Apex can publish and subscribe to these events. So any scenario, like triggering logic means, like for example, if account is created, so this is a triggering event, like account is created or account is updated, account is deleted, for example. So these are the triggering logic, normally called as in Apex. Here, friend, it is also very important that you have to understand that in which scenario you don't need to use the Apex programming. For example, simple field updates. So you can also use a flow of workflow rules, sending basic email alerts, creating a record when another is created, roll up summaries, simple data validations, anything that can be done with a report or dashboard. So you don't need to use the Apex programming in that case. If you have a requirement which can be done using easily with workflow rules or flows or validation rules, so you don't need to use the Apex programming in that case. You must have to use the Apex programming in those scenarios where the business logic is complex, and you know technically that it cannot be done through the point and click tools or workflows rules available in the Salesforce. So in that case, you have to use the Apex programming. So friend, thank you. Thanks a lot for watching the video.